Yourself? Something went boom outside my studio over here, and I have no idea what just happened. I mean, it was loud. I was like, "Is this the Iranians? It's a drone."
Yeah, you hit me up and you were like, "Hey, I don't know what's going on." And at first I thought, I was gonna be like, you had to go to the
You
bathroom
thought I had to
break.
go drop a deuce? Yeah, I know.
Right.
Just be honest. Yeah,
I
because
thought it was
sometimes I
gonna be
do.
another bomb. You're like, hey, okay, we got about
Not that bomb. This was. I mean, I heard a click here in the studio, but the power stayed on, and then there was this explosion with this big echo outside. It sounded like if you've ever heard a transformer blow up, but I've never heard one just blow up when it wasn't raining or storming. And I know there's some construction here on the highway. They're doing some tree trimming and stuff. So maybe somebody just dropped something. Right? I have no idea what just happened. But I go outside during the break, and naturally I grab the pistol and I run outside I'm just standing there like a fool, and all these dogs off, and that every dog up and down this road is barking right now. They're all like, "Arr, arr, something going down." I don't know what it was. Well, all I'm saying is if my power goes off, I'm not going to be surprised. That sounded electrical. I don't know what it was.
Well, okay, so here's my black man in a horror movie side coming out. I would not have gone and investigated that.
You would see. That's what white people do. We get a flashlight.
I'm gonna go investigate that.
We'll send a couple of girls with a flashlight into the woods. Let's go check it out. Not that. See, because if you did all hell no and left, then there would be no movie.
I mean, my point. But guess what? You lived. You know what I'm saying? You survived.
Plus, they always kill off the black character early in all those movies anyway.
Exactly. Well, you gonna be like, "Hey, AJ, what you gonna check that out?" No.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Has
I'm not gonna
anybody
go
ever
out there.
spoofed that in a movie? Eddie Murphy used to have a whole. Remember Eddie Murphy's routine about that? He talked about Amityville Horror. He goes, I'll go up in that house and it's like, too bad I can't stay.
Right.
I'm not staying. White people are like, oh, it'll be all right. Let's just spend the night.
Yeah, we already spent our money, and this is
the
our
house
honeymoon.
is talking to us.
Like, no,
no, dog. This is a true story, AJ. We're going in a dirt road now. First real horror movie. I learned all this at once at about 13 years old. I don't remember the year, but I remember I was early teen. My dad had to take me, but I went to see the first Halloween, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was in LaGrange, Georgia, and in those days they had one theater downtown, and whatever they were showing was the movie that weekend. That was it. There was no multiplex. And I remember he said, I'll go with you, which was rare for him. My siblings weren't old enough to go. So I remember we got in there, and there were these African-American ladies down on the front row. And the movie started, and that's a scary movie. I mean, especially at that age, that was a pretty crazy movie.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, AJ, they didn't make it 10 minutes. They got up and stormed out.
Yep.
The first crazy thing that happened, all three of those ladies got up and stormed out screaming. And I laughed, and then I was scared to death the whole rest of the movie. I was like, see, I get it now. Ladies, I wanted to go with them.
I was surprised they sat up in the front seat. I would have been
They
like
were on the
back.
front row, dude.
Yeah, nah.
Took their popcorn with them and got the hell out.
Nope.
I think the phrase was actually, to quote one of them, oh, hell no.
Yeah, no.
And they were gone.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, that would have been.
My dad's like, we paid good money. Sit your ass down. I was like, yes, sir.
What was it, like 50 cents or something like that?
Probably $1. What were the movie prices when you were a kid?
Oh gosh, the one I remember, I remember the dollar theater that was not too far from where I lived in San Antonio. I don't remember the other price because I never paid for it, so I never really cared.
Remember? Yeah, they used to have dollar theater. You pay $1 and go see the movie.
Yeah. Now the movie was like
Warner Road here in Birmingham. Yeah,
like the movie was like out. This is before there was like Netflix and all these other streaming. You had to wait for the movie to go to the dollar theater in order to go watch it.
Yeah, that was a second run. Like the rich people went when it came out.
Right,
you got to go 6 months later to the dollar theater.
Everybody's done watched it. You already heard what's about to happen. I would still go, hey, it's only $1. And then on top of that, the popcorn was cheap too because they just swept all the popcorn off the floor
put it back in the box.
Yeah. Man, it was good.
Feet stick to the floor. Yeah. I mean, just stick to the floor.
Yeah, they didn't clean none of the seats. They didn't clean none of the floors. Man, those were the times, man.
There weren't any commercials. You go to the theater and you didn't watch 9 commercials before the movie started.
Yeah.
That was back in the day, man.
Man, it was so good. I miss those.
We're missing it now. I complain about missing it, but I never go. I never go to the movies anymore. It's just I don't even want to do it. I think COVID broke me. In fact, like tonight, a movie I've been waiting on to come out. I told you about it a couple of days ago. I told David about it yesterday. Peaky Blinders movie's coming out tonight.
Okay.
And I loved that series. I
Yeah.
loved everything about the way it was shot, the dialogue, all of it, the history of it, all that stuff. And so there's a sequel that's supposed to be 20 years later. Not a sequel, but just an add-on movie product. So I think it comes out on Netflix. I wanted to can my Netflix, but then I found out about this. Was like, well, I got to wait and watch that. So I'm trying all day long. I've been trying not to hear about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about it. I don't know if people like it, don't like it. I don't need commentary, and it's hard to do. I'm in this news environment where I got to read everything that comes across, and you're scrolling along, and here it is. I'll see a picture or from the movie itself, and I just keep scrolling as fast as I can.
Right.
So I don't see anything. But so tonight, our big plan is just to watch that sucker at home because it's out tonight. I think it was an early release in the theaters.
Okay.
And then, but it is a shame that the magic is all gone from that because, you take the Oscars this week, or what was that, last Sunday night? Only 17 million people watched the Oscars. You get to the final game of the March Madness, and there'll be what, 40, 50 million people watching it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what Super Bowl numbers are anymore. State of the Union will get 30 to 50, depending on who the president is and what's going on. 17. Nobody wants to watch all these schmucks congratulate each other anymore. Magic's gone. The scripts suck. All they do are boobs, car wrecks, and comic book movies nowadays. There's nothing original coming out.
Now, I am excited that the Wayne brothers are back at it with Scary Movie 6, I think.
Are you serious?
Yeah, well, now look. Now, here's the thing. So when they had the movie, to me, I thought it was funny. Then when the Zemeckis brothers, I think that's who they were.
See, I don't even know. I think I've seen one of those.
Yeah.
You're going to have to educate me.
And then Weinstein and those guys, they took that movie from the Wayne brothers. And then that's when you had like the Charlie Sheen and all those other ones, those movies that was not really that funny. Well, now it looks like they got the rights back, and now they're coming out with their kind of like versions, and it's an updated adaptation of some of the horror movies that kind of came through since they've been kind of out, and so it looks like it's gonna be pretty funny. So I'm excited about it. And plus I'm a fan of theirs, so I look forward to seeing it.
Me too. I just wish they could do humor like they did in Living Color because they weren't afraid of anything.
Oh yeah,
they were edgy on purpose. That was humor, but I mean, it was just. I know we're getting off into entertainment. But why not? It's Friday night. It had a purpose was to make you uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you weren't being a good comedian if you weren't pointing out absurdities that we all see, but we don't say out loud. These guys would say it out loud. Everybody would laugh, and we'd laugh at ourselves and laugh at other people. It's a good time, kids.
Yeah.
Then everybody, the anti-bullying movement started.
And then everybody got sensitive. It's just,
Lord.
Gosh, can't even laugh no more.
Can't laugh at anything.
Mm-mm.
All right. Let me talk about Ox Foundation Solutions, and then we'll get on with it. I guess my power's going to stay on. I don't know what that was. I'm dying to go down the road and investigate because that's crazy. Oxstrong.com, man. Look, let's talk about your home. We all have some kind of foundation or basement or slab or footing or something that our house is sitting on, and it's the first thing that's laid and everything's sitting on it. All that weight is on it. And if it moves a little bit, if you have a little tiny shift, it's sort of exponential. A 1 inch shift on one side causes big problems, above it and off in a distance. It's like a lever almost. And you got to stay on top of that. You need to do it quickly. I've seen situations through the real estate business where people would wind up with plumbing and electrical problems. And in fact, we had a family member that had a relative to pass away, and the family was taking care of the house, cleaning up things. They found a water problem in the basement, and it affected, I think, some electrical issues that nobody knew about because it had just sat there for so long, and it cost a lot of money to fix. So the point of telling you those stories is you got to be proactive and look around your house and look for trouble. You're not wanting to find it, but you want to make sure you don't have it because it does cost more and more and more to fix it as time goes on. And with foundation issues, what we find a lot is it will contribute to other problems. I mean, you'll wind up a crack because of water underneath the foundation. Then the water gets in, then you got water. And then once you get water, you got moisture in the air. That could go to mold. Then that causes all kind of other issues. And the good thing about Ox Foundation Solutions is they do all of it. They can fix the crack, get the water out, patch all that up, level your house, remove the mold, dry you out by encapsulating once they're finally done with all the repairs. And you just shouldn't have, especially a crawl space home, without encapsulation. This summer, it'll keep the moisture out. It's a thermal barrier, helps maintain the air conditioning and the heat inside your house that you're paying so much money for. The absolute professional company to handle that for you is Ox Foundation Solutions. oxstrong.com. Y'all get them over there. Even if it's just a checkup because you suspect something because something doesn't feel right, they're happy to come check that for you. But if it's big and you know it's big, they got the helical pier system and they'll come do that too. Full service company and the best in the business, oxstrong.com. All right, let's hit some phone calls, man. We're getting flooded with calls. I love it. Dan will be next. Dan, what's on your mind tonight?
Hey, not much. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, my phone's acting crazy. So, long story short, with I know you talked a little bit about Afro Man and with the Scary Movie franchise, but man, the Afro Man, the whole trial and everything, this is a example of how your forefathers thought 300 or 250 years ago before you, of how your government can't just completely just run over you like a steamroller. I mean,
you've got a right to push back on your government, which is all he did in lampooning them with his songs. And, that was a vote for freedom right there. The fact that they drug him into court was absurd in the first place. So the whole country's cheering for Afro Man this week.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Like, people don't realize how big of a thing that is, but it really is. I just want to see somebody in England do that, and they'll get arrested and locked under the jail and tried and prosecuted and locked away for speaking their mind, which our forefathers, I just want to say, thought it was very important to be able to speak your mind. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. That was First Amendment all the way. That's why I said come July 4th this year, I'm wearing the Afro Man suit whatever I'm doing.
It's 250, bro. This is our big one. This is a quarter century. This is our big one.
That's right. Love it, Dan. Hey, I appreciate you, buddy. Is that it for Dan? I think we lost him anyway. Let's go to Randy and Jasper. Randy, what's on your mind tonight? What you got?
Well, my first scary movie there was Jaws on Sunday after church there. We waited till Sunday because you got in for half price. They called it matinee.
Yeah.
And you talking about girls screaming. You remember when the heads fell out of that boat there in Jaws? There was some girls screaming, got up and left too.
Listen, I think that was 77. And, that was the year like 77 and 78. All these movies that are eternal came out right together. And people don't realize Star Wars, Smoking the Bandit, Jaws, all these massive movies. We haven't been right since came out in that little time period right there for sure.
I just want to let you know that there was a bunch of girls in there screaming and hollering. They got up and left too when that head fell out of that boat.
Go back in the water. Yeah, there you go. I got it, man. Those movies used to capture our imagination right there in our seats and pin us to the seat, and they're just so plastic. I don't know. Am I just too complaining about it, AJ? You know what I think it is? It's too much CG. It's too much computer generation, and now everything's AI. If we had real stunts again, like real actors having to act it out and perform it, it'd feel more real to us, I believe, in some of these instances. Kevin's in Alpine. Let's get Kevin in here. What's up, Kevin?
Leland, I'd rather have my upper eyelid stapled to my forehead and forced to watch an hour of Rachel Maddow than to watch the Oscars.
No one except just a bunch of kooks and probably in the industry watched this thing this year. And
I can remember growing up, there was only 2 channels on TV.
Yep.
And every year, the Oscars was something that everybody looked forward to, but I wouldn't watch it now for all the tea in China.
Oh, people used to do, very recently, probably in the last 10 or 15 years, would do Oscar parties and dress up and go watch it at somebody's house, just really get into it. It was dramatic. We knew the movies. We'd seen them. We were a little bit invested because we wanted our favorite film to win. And it did have a little magic quality, but the shine is completely off that industry. Plus, a lot of that industry is moving out of Hollywood anyway. A movie
You got
production
that
is
right.
all over the place. Yeah. Yep.
Tickles
And
me to death.
something will take its place, something better.
The
Thank you, Kevin. Oh, keep going, man.
the Super Bowl used to be a hot item too, and
Yeah.
they've tried to kind of come back on board with common sense, but a whole lot of people quit watching the Super Bowl after they took a knee.
Well, yeah. I mean, every time you hyper politicize these platforms, they are supposed to be our escapes from the day to day stuff you and I talk about here and that people talk about in the news cycle. And sports and the movies, you're supposed to just get away from all that. Get away from work, get away from tension. We all could enjoy those things together. And now they've done that to music, they've done it to sports. I'm turned off. I really am. I don't find any of it enjoyable. Then what's happening in college athletics is even worse. Hey, thank you, Kevin.
We love your show, Leland. Be sure to remember us when you get syndicated.
Oh, look out now. Thanks, brother. Listen, what's the Alabama score, AJ? Have you seen it or anything? They were a pretty tight game going on at halftime. I know that, they've had their issues this week with their player, getting kicked off for the drug charges and all the drama that's associated with it. I'm
well,
reminded
they just
of,
scored. Looks like they're on someone's on the free throw line. It's and I'm just looking at the score. So it's 80-66 right now. Alabama's up.
Oh, okay. So Alabama's kind of gotten up bigger. It was tight going into the half, so they may be able to survive this first round. And they don't know if they're going to get their player back. I'm gonna call him Big Worm because I can't remember his name. The guy with all the weed. It's a Friday reference. Speaking of another movie,
well, you probably will name him Smokey.
Smokey. There's another thing that I just heard about last week. Some of y'all will connect to too, and I'll just throw it at you while we're being nostalgic. Six Flags is closing over in Atlanta, over in Georgia. Lord, what a part of my childhood that was. I mean, we'd do church trips there, group trips there, and it's just got run in the ground. And you had gang violence and thugs in there fighting with each other, and they made it unsafe to go. And over time, and people's interest in outings like that are just changing. Theme parks are challenged. So in my lifetime, I think we've seen the death of going to the movies. We've seen the death of the shopping mall. We're seeing the death of a lot of theme parks, Six Flags biting the dust. There are a lot of things that, and if you ask me, the thing that's making it difficult, the thing that's turning people off, all the stuff we're talking about, the movies, some sports leagues, it's cultural rot. If I had to put it in one big old fat category, it's the downhill slide of the culture itself. Some people just aren't going to participate in that. And so they walk with their feet. They walk with their money. They quit going to the movies. They quit going to the theme parks. They don't want to do it. And that's the way it's always been. There were always things that happened before that. And I can give you some other examples of things like that just this week in the news. But this spring break craziness down in Florida, the Houston rodeo, man, the rodeo's turned into like a fist fight. People are not going to take their families to that stuff. It's changed. A lot of stuff's changing right in front of us. And so what happens with it's economics? It goes away. You won't have it anymore. If you break it, it's gone. Douglas Cooling and Heating. Let's talk about your comfort level in your home. Man, we're going to be in the 80s this weekend, serious 80s. Like I saw one forecast that had us at about 85. I think it's on Saturday or Sunday. That is straight up warm weather. And now we're officially in spring. Still could have another cool snap next weekend, but it's air conditioner season full-fledged now. So if you haven't heeded my advice before now and gotten it all tuned up, get Douglas to come over to your house, tune you up. They will absolutely take care of the whole system and make sure they give it a bath. They check the charges. They go around and check all your vents to make sure it's evenly flowing through your house. And then you're good to go for the year, especially if you've got an older system. You got to maintain it. And if you haven't been maintaining it and you know it's time for a replacement, sage advice here, don't wait till it blows up on you in the worst weather possible. Get that replacement done in a controlled environment over with Douglas Cooling and Heating. They'll come out while the weather's pretty tolerable, get that swapped out for you, get you financed, get you extended warranties. Jay and his team run a great company. Now they've got a plumbing division too. If you decide you want to have plumbing work done, they'll handle that for you too. This is a great company. And I've said it a million times. I'll say it 1,000,001. They have taken care of me and my homes and all air conditioner situations for 17 years, all the different places I've owned in that span of time. and always done a good job. They're my company. CallDouglas.com. CALL Douglas.com. Y'all get them over to your place. Back in a minute. Man, I went way too long in that last segment. So let me tell you all about Alabama Dental, and we'll get you down to the bottom and come back, take more of your phone calls. Man, this is my dentist, Dr. Brian, that whole team over there. I was just chatting with him about some tractor business earlier in the week. Brian's a great guy. He's a good friend. He's my dentist, and so are the fellow dentists at Alabama Dental. They can take care of you hours as late as 7 o'clock at night. They are available on the weekends. Are you serious? Yeah. Get this stuff taken care of on the weekends. And specialists in 4 different areas with all the tech to solve your problems. This is where you need to go. They've been with us for years here on the show. Y'all go see them, get your appointment. It's alabamadental.com, alabamadental.com. Back here in just a minute. All right, here we go. 436, Leland Live Talk 99.5. Let's talk about Hueytown Pawn, man. What a great shop. One of our callers, a new caller that calls here quite a bit these days, Country Philosopher, said he was heading over there to pick up a couple of these Glocks. Said his daughter, this was earlier in the show, said his daughter likes guns. He's enjoying some time with her that way. Y'all, these Glocks, these law enforcement turn-in Glocks, that's my phraseology. Some people just call them LE Glocks. Here's the background. They will I guess, distribute these, to law enforcement agencies, and they'll use them in service for a period of time. And then these governmental agencies will replace them with newer weapons. Sometimes there's a model change or they're just under contract. Then they'll sell them out into the pre-owned market. And Tommy gets the ability through his networking at Hueytown Pawn to buy them in batches. And so what he does is he brings them back here to Birmingham and puts them on sale. He wants to draw your attention and get you over to Hueytown and make you make that drive so you come in and check out the store. It's a good deal for all of us. So right now, while they're available, he still has some available. They have those LE Glocks in, I don't know how many of each caliber they had left, but when we started with this, I think it was last week, he had 9, he had 40, and he had 45 caliber. So go see him. Take a look at them. You got your choice of different ones. Some of them are still in the brand new box that they originally came in. That's a good deal all the way around. Then, of course, he also let me know that he has some sound suppressors, which are still kind of the rage in the industry right now. Once the laws change and now they're more affordable, and this year you don't have to pay that extra $200 tax stamp. These things are down as low as $298 right now for some of the models, some of the calibers, some of the type suppressors. I mean, I always thought all those suppressors were well over $1,000. These things he's got some for $298, brands you're going to know and recognize. That last time I went over there, they had a whole room. They got a big vault back there just full of sound suppressors. So I would dare say they still have the best selection in town on sound suppression. So go see them. It is, of course, over in Hueytown, Brook Lane Drive. Get to know Tommy. You know, a lot of businesses, personal relationships, it's getting to know the proprietor and getting that kind of good service. And once you get to know him, he'll take care of you. He'll help you track down what you need. From time to time, he springs these deals on us where suddenly he's got a batch of something and he puts it on sale. So go see him this weekend if you're looking for something to do over in Hueytown, Brook Lane Drive. Hueytown Pawn, by the way, since they are a pawn dealership, they've got other pre-owned items that some people find a lot of value in as well. If you want to save some money and add to your collection, it is a Hueytown Pawn. Again, Brook Lane Drive, Hueytown Pawn. I'm trying to remember where I was going to go with this segment. I got squirreled talking about the entertainment stuff. 545-9950 if you want to get on the show tonight. Y'all can bring something to the table. We got about another hour and 20 minutes. So if you got something on your mind, we'll kick it around before we call it a weekend. I found this graphic this week. This has been in the news this week, and I've mentioned it slightly. But this is pretty stunning when you look at the comparative examples. So we're having a realignment in this country right now. I'm going to run through this quickly, and then I'll get to the phone calls. So when you compare states, a lot of people have been comparing Florida and California. But a lot of New Yorkers are moving to Florida, and this week alone you had the governor almost demand people move back home. I mean, they've run them off. People at some point aren't going to do it anymore. So the crime's going up, quality of life's going down. They're shoveling so much money at immigrants and homeless. We had a story this week in New York City alone. They're spending $81,000 per homeless person in that city to take care of them. And a lot of these are foreigners that just got here. And the median income in that city is less than that. In other words, people that are paying the taxes and going out working hard are drawing less money than the government giving out this money to these homeless folks. There used to be this old adage, when you've got more people in the wagon than you have people pulling the wagon stops moving. That's what's happening in New York. You get a sense that it's like a time bomb going off. When you compare the two states, I saw this graphic today comparing New York and Florida. It's stunning. For example, the state of New York has taxes on personal income that range between 4% and 10.9% of your income. That's on top of the federal government taking your income. Florida has 0% income tax. then there's the weather. Florida is, average temp 73 degrees. New York's 46. Just it's a tougher climate to live in. Their jobs numbers, the bigger numbers are in their budgets. The state of Florida's entire budget for the whole freaking state, I think, is $121 billion. And New York City is bigger than that with a fraction of the population. The city, not even the whole state. So they're running the whole state of Florida on less money than they're running the city of New York. And the city of New York has overtaxed its people. It's just mathematically, it's a disaster waiting to happen. And then these people were foolish enough to put this mayor with his very childlike beliefs and attitude toward things. They're about to screw up policing. They're about to overcommit to spending on priorities that shouldn't be the priorities of the city. And I don't know when it goes tits up, but it's a shame. It's a fun city to visit. It used to be the richest and most powerful city in the world in a lot of ways. And it's in absolute decline, and people are packing up and bailing. It's really a shame. I'll have a chance to travel there in June. It's an event to see my family that's there. Thank goodness they're going to be leaving there just because of career paths. But I don't want my family being there during this decline. I worry about it. It's a resilient city, though, and they can survive a Mondami. But they're digging a hole they can't dig out of, and it's not even sustainable. And when you do, it's really why we're set up as a nation to be 50 different state experiments. Each state sovereign enough to do things its own way and see how it works out. And then, good Lord, the California stories this week of the absolute corruption that's being the money that's going down a rat hole. I think it's killing Newsom's chances to actually be a participant in this election. I mean, they may be blind to it in California, but the rest of the country is looking at this mess. And here goes the experiment. Some states will survive and some won't, but the comparisons between the absolute mind-boggling amounts of money that they spend there and for what they get for it, it's government, man. They can never deliver on what they promise, ever. So plan your life around government promises. You shouldn't have your life dependent on anything they're doing. I'm just trying to get them out of your pocketbook. David's on line 3. Let's go with David real quick and get some more calls in here. David, what's on your mind?
Hey, Leland. I don't know if you have elderly parents, but my mom's 92, and I don't care how many times you've talked to them about text messages you get that are fake. Ignore it. You don't owe a traffic ticket. You don't have to pay it. But my mom got scammed last week out of $25,000.
Oh my goodness!
And it started as your Apple Pay has been hacked, and it started like that. And I talked to her the day before. Mom, you don't have an outstanding speeding ticket. Your driver's license is not going to be revoked. Ignore your text messages and all that. So she got the thing about Apple Pay, and they're like, you're being hacked for $1,900, and it's going on your Apple Pay. And she's like, I don't have Apple Pay. So I called them up, and I told them I don't have Apple Pay, and they're like, ma'am, you might be being scammed. And they're like, wait, somebody is trying to charge $3,000 right now on your Apple Pay. And that's going to ruin your credit. And that got her going because she's got perfect credit. She pays her bills. I mean, she's 92. So they strung her along. And then it's like, man, we're going to have to turn this over to the fraud department. And she talked to somebody else. So there's multiple people doing this. So they talked to the fraud department, and yes, ma'am, wait, we've got $8,000 charge on your account right now, and this is gonna ruin your. We're gonna have to give you, and we're gonna ruin your. This is gonna ruin your credit, and so we're gonna have to turn this over to law enforcement. So they turned it over to law enforcement.
Hold on.
And then supposedly,
let me ask you a question.
Yeah, they had her on the phone for 3.5 hours. They had her on the
phone the whole time, and she doesn't hang up. She just
for 3.5 hours. Yeah,
got it. Okay,
yeah,
keep going.
They kept going up. They got her pissed off. You don't mess with my credit, you know. And then it was a U.S. Marshal talking to her because we had to turn that over to law enforcement. It's the U.S. Marshal, and here's my badge number, and go on and on. Here's a picture of our our squad that works to catch people stealing for old people. And it was on and on and on. She had pictures on her phone that were like totally fake. But I mean, the crazy thing, dude, she was totally bought it, hook, line, and sinker.
Well, let me ask you this: how did I can see how they'd keep her on the phone and use a sense of urgency and threats, and she's vulnerable. But how did they get the money transferred? How did they get her to authorize money to be transferred?
No. All right. So we're going to have to do this. We're doing a sting operation, and we need you to go get $25,000 cash out of the bank and stay on the phone with me while you do it. And you can't tell anybody because this is a law enforcement action, and on and on. And she went to the bank, and the teller, they know her. We've been banking there for 25 years.
Yeah.
And they're like, what, man? I'm sorry, Miss, I'm not going to say her name, but what are you doing with $25,000? And the guys had her on the phone the whole time, and he's like, tell her it's none of her business.
Banks.
The bank said, what are you doing with this money? And then the guy on the phone's like, tell her it's none of their business. And she did. She's like, it's none of your business.
What a nightmare.
So, yeah. So she got the money, and she took it home, and they came and picked it up. But
somebody physically came to her house and got cash?
No, they came to the road. But this is the deal.
No, slow down.
Okay.
I don't want to get confused, David, because you're probably helping people.
I'm confused. She still can't.
How did they
can't explain how we got from somebody's ripping you off for $8,000 to give me $25,000 cash? Yeah, she can't even figure that one out. But once they got her flustered, I mean, she's 92. They got her flustered, and they wouldn't let her off the phone. It was like, don't hang up, don't hang up. And, they figured out a way, okay, put the money in a box, and we're going to walk it down to the road, and one of my agents is going to pick it up. But a few hours before that, somebody had walked around my mom's house. They walked around my house, and my dogs were barking. So my daughter was like, what are you doing? And this girl was like looking around. She was casing for like cameras to see if we had video or whatever. She did the same thing to the neighbor across over the field over there.
How do you know this? How do you know somebody walked?
I figured it out. I figured it out. She's walking around, but she didn't have a business card. My daughter's like, "Oh, I'm with pest control, and we're just checking out." And my daughter asked her for a business card. She didn't have one. She went to my next door neighbor, walked around her house, all the way around her house, never knocked on the door, but she's got her own camera. The people across the street have her own Ring doorbells all over the place, but she's always looking down. She's got a hat on, but it's a redhead with like almost thigh-length hair, and she's looking down. But two people over there, the word got around the neighborhood over there, and because the car parked like in a driveway next to the neighborhood, but she went around that house 3 times, but never rang the doorbell. She walked around that house 3 times. It's on their cameras and stuff.
Let me jump in and get
Alabaster, Shelby County.
David, let me get some pieces of information because I don't want to get lost.
All right. Okay. All right.
This was how long before the money was transferred was this surveillance?
This is like 12 o'clock in the day, and she gave them the money at like 4 p.m. So 4 hours
was she
before.
On the phone with
She was on the phone with them the whole time.
Surveillance was going on while she's on the phone.
Yep.
Oh, wow. So what confuses me about that, a lot of these scams are digital transfers, and they hack into you by just getting personal information. They get it through computer systems and credit cards. For them to physically show up means they had people on the ground here to do this with the cash in person, and that's even more frightening in a lot of ways. Yeah.
And they even walked around to make sure that they weren't on camera anywhere. But here's the deal. All right, so Mom told me about this Thursday afternoon. She started talking about it, and I'm like, this is a scam, right? And she got really mad. She got mad at me. I'm like, Marshall's not going to give you his badge number. My badge number is BR549, Mom. What do you just hang up on them? And she got mad and stomped off because she lives about 100 yards from me. We own like 40 acres family land. But she didn't even tell me that she'd already given them the money. So I went to the bank when it opened Friday morning. I'm like, look, my mom's being scammed, and I need to make sure nobody can take money out of her account. She hadn't given them their banking information, stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, my God, she got $25,000 cash yesterday. And I'm like, no, she didn't.
And that's how you found out.
They're like, that's how I found out.
Yeah.
Well, 10 minutes later, after I left the bank, she shows up. And they're like, they had called her, asked her what her remaining balance was, and it was like, okay, take $17,000 out.
They being the people that scammed her called her back?
The people that scammed her already.
Okay.
U.S. Marshals.
Fake U.S. Marshals, yeah.
What she's working in, whatever.
Gosh.
And they're like, you have 17, okay, leave $500 in there. You don't want to close the account, but take all the money out except $500, and we'll come pick that up. And if I hadn't already been to the bank, they would have wiped her out.
What is surprising about this, and we get training on this here at our company a lot. Usually it's cyber warfare stuff, and but the techniques are the same. They want to create an alarm situation, put you under pressure, ask for you to act on it immediately. And we all get those, and you just got to be constantly on guard. They can spoof and pretend to be somebody trustworthy, somebody you know. And nowadays with AI, they can absolutely imitate people you actually know, and you don't realize you're dealing with it. But what surprises me, David, about this whole thing is that this is a local crew that had boots on the ground, so to speak, that could immediately show up at that address. And it makes me think your mom was targeted before that phone call. They knew where she lived. They found her phone number, and they pounced physically and through the phone, which is a little bit different than some of the scams we hear about sometimes. Have y'all taken this to the authorities?
Yeah, I filed a police report and with Shelby County, and apparently Samaniago doesn't give a crap.
Well, David, hang on. I got to take a break. I got so enthralled in your story, I started running late. Let me do that, and let's see what we can do on the other side. Hang on for a minute. Back in a minute. All right, let me go fast so I can get David back in here. Danny Knowles is with the Knowles Group. Y'all reach out to him if you need advice with your money, and we do. None of us need to be making these permanent retirement decisions on our own. You need a professional that understands market ups and market downs and can keep you on the averages. These are especially times when you need that kind of sage and sound advice. He's a lifelong friend, and I trust him for y'all to sit down and see if it's a good fit. It's theknowlesgroup.com. By the way, check them out this weekend for their own radio show that they air at various times over the weekend here on Talk 99.5, Understanding Your Money, theknowlesgroup.com. David, I only have a couple seconds, but I hope your mom's going to be okay. It's going to be difficult for the cops to crack this case, but if you've got surveillance video, that ought to be a help.
They're not even trying. I've called 5 times. Nobody's even come out to investigate it. I mean, you can't even go to
have you called?
You can't go to Publix without being on traffic cam 5 times. So, I mean, they're not even trying. I've called 5 times, no response, no investigator. So,
I mean, you've called, but
thanks,
have you gone
Samaniago. You're not doing anything.
Yeah,
Samaniago does nothing.
All right, buddy. Keep us updated. Let us know if there are any updates on that part of the story. What a case. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit on the other side. One more hour to go. Leland Live.